Welcome back to Bay Sunday. Earlier this week, I had an opportunity to talk with an outstanding actress whose latest gig is playing Melissa McCarthy's mother on Mike and Molly right here on CBS 5. She has written a memoir, part Swan, part Goose, an uncommon memoir of womanhood, work, and family. Let's take a look. Well, tell us, what a life that you've lived. It's remarkable. The book is terrific. Tell us, where'd you get the idea of writing the book? How much fun was it writing the book? And what did you learn about yourself?
Well, I originally wanted to write the book as a Valentine and a love letter to my parents, who were these two extraordinary people. My dad was the most decorated Air Force pilot of World War II, and he was on 3 Olympic diving teams. My mom wrote a book, her memoir, that she was published in 1945. She wrote when she was pregnant with me, and I just really wanted to let the world know how unique a childhood I had and how really fairy tale it was, because I know so many people's childhoods were not. So this extraordinary bond that I have with my parents, I felt I wanted to share it. And then this started gestating a few years ago, but I really am glad I waited until now, because for the last 7 years I've been on this amazing, intimate journey of caring for my mother, who's 98 and a half now and lives with me.
Incredible, and they're beautiful. I was looking at pictures of them getting off one of those planes. I mean, they were right out of movie star material.
Aren't they? They're like movie stars. It's amazing.
They really.
And they were in newsreels and everything at the time. They're two real icons of the greatest generation.
And your name actually comes from your father's service, correct? In World War II.
Right, exactly. They named me after the B-17 airplane that he flew during the war, and it was in the Smithsonian for years. It's one of the few planes to have survived the war, and they sort of inexplicably thought this was an appropriate name for a baby.
Well, you know, it's an unusual name, and it must have been great when you were auditioning in New York for parts. SWOOSIE, what's a SWOOSIE? Come on up here, girlfriend. I mean, was it something like that?
Yeah, exactly. Right. It definitely set me apart, which is always good, a good thing in this business. And you know, people still mispronounce it, but they don't forget it.
Yeah.
So that's good.
No doubt. And they don't forget you. Now, you got your SAG card on the Donna Reed show?
Yes. 90 years ago. Yeah, when I was in high school. I was in a play, and this casting director saw me and cast me in this role on the Donna Reed show. And I felt like, you know, big woman on campus when I came back, because I had worked. I had to get out of school to work, and I got my Screen Actors Guild card. It was all very, very thrilling, even though I was practically completely cut out of the episode.
Well, that's okay.
My first lesson in showbiz.
Yeah, right. You might end up on the editing room floor. Were there any other celebrity kids at Hollywood High when you went to high school?
No, not when I was there, I don't think. But there were a lot of others that this same man had taught. Yeah.
Yeah, and you grew up. Bob Hope was across the street. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, once I got to high school, I mean, I moved around a lot as a kid because my dad was in the Air Force. But we finally settled in L.A. and my parents bought this, as my mother always emphasizes, tiny, tiny house across from Bob Hope's estate, and it really was a tiny house. Yeah, and you know, Bob and Dolores Hope invited us over for their anniversaries and birthdays, and were so great to us.
I guess. And well, you won a couple of Tonys. You won an Emmy with Carol Burnett. Tell us about Carol Burnett. I love her. She must be incredible to work with.
Who doesn't love her? I mean, and she gave me the most incredible quote for the cover of my book. So generous. She just is generous from the heart, and all about working on the material and always thinking of the other person. What you see is what you get with her. There's no star trip whatsoever. She's just an amazing actress, an amazing person.
Well, you're on Mike and Molly right now, a great program right here on CBS. TV, movies, or the stage? Is there a first love?
Well, you know, the stage is where my heart started, where I started my whole career and was my first love and remains my first love. But I really go for where the material is, wherever, whatever medium that is. If I see, you know, the woman on the page that I can bring to life, and it's something I haven't done before and something that scares me, then I have to do it. And it doesn't really matter if it's a film or television or stage. They're very different time commitments, a very different energy and how you have to pace yourself. But I'll go wherever the good writing is.
Absolutely. Well, best sports movie ever, Slapshot. I had no idea you were in that, but that is pretty cool.
Amazing.
Well, we're out of time. I could talk to you forever, but continue success and give your mom a hug. 98 plus years of age. God bless her.
Oh, that's so sweet of you. Thank you. I will do that. And thank you for having me.
She is a peach. You can get a copy of Swoosie's book online at your local bookstore. And see her right here on CBS Monday nights, of course, and Mike and Molly. Great show. Back with more Bay Sunday right after the break. Stay there, everybody.